Hello, everyone. This is Jerry O'Donnell, and we're doing this part 2 of the Queen Esther series. And I'll start by reading Esther chapter 3, verse 1 and downward. And after these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him in his seat, set his seat above all the princes that were with him. That was a bad deal because this guy hated the Jews, and his whole thing, he had an anti-Israeli spirit, and his whole thing was of wrath and destruction of the Jews. But anyway, and all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had also so commanded certain concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. The king's servant which were in the king's gate, and said to Mordecai, Why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass that when they spoke daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not and did him no reverence, then was Haman full of wrath, and he sought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is the 9th Nishan, in the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast pearl, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month, and to 12 months, and that is the month of Adar. And Haman said to the king Ahasuerus, There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the province of the kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. And if it pleases the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hand of those that have the charge of business, to bring it into the king's treasures. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman the son of Hammedatha and the Agagite, and the Jews' enemy. And the king said to Haman, The silver is given to thee, and the people also, to do with them as it seems good to thee. Then when the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and it was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king lieutenant, and to the governor, that were every province, and to every ruler of the people, and every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of the king Ahasuerus was written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post unto the king's province to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, from both old and young, both little children and women, in one day, even unto the 13th day of the month, which is the month Adar, and to take the spoils of them for a prey, and the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they would be ready against that day. And the post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree given by Shushan the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink, and the city Shushan was perplexed. Now, I always look for the prophet that sits in the gate. And in this case, it wasn't even Esther. it was her uncle, and Mordecai, who was devout. He was tuned in, even when Esther was going about and didn't have any clue what was happening. Mordecai was tuned in and began to fast and pray and sit at the gate, but he had to sit on the outside of the gate because it was a law in the land that fasting and putting on sackcloth and humbling yourself, you couldn't do it inside the gate. You had to do it outside the gate. But you ever notice that it doesn't matter if it's Mordecai or Daniel or whosoever the prophet is, why does the prophet want to be at the gate? You know, it says, hate evil, love good, and establish judgment at the gate, right? We got to learn the going in, the ingress and the egress of people. We better know these things. It's the kingdom of God is at hand. And there's a wicked decree in the land in the last few years, all throughout the world. And it's coming greater and greater against the righteous and the peoples of God. And that's when we have to, like Esther, the Esthers of our day, the Deborahs of our day, the prophets, the Elijahs of our day, they have to rise. And they cannot be silent in this moment, in this time, in this season. And they got to cry out to God, and then they got to exercise the authority that God has endowed to them. But anyway, until next time, may God bless.